Okay, I'm going to make tints of all the colors we made to fill up the center of my flower. So, first thing is I'm going to just take the plain white and start to put it in the middle. The middle of my flower is going to be just plain white. For now. Maybe I'll change later. And add a little bit of yellow to it. See how that gets like a lemony white? There is my tint of white. Lemon yellow. Oh, I love the lemon yellow. I have a choice. I could just leave it like that, or I could blend it. While it's still wet, I can blend anything I want. That was pretty easy. Now we have to add some orange. So how do we get the orange? I remember I used the regular red. That's not wet anymore, so I have to get some new red. Make that yellow orange again. And use the white. So a little bit more red. There we go. That looks like about the same yellow-orange. Now I know that yellow-orange, I have to have a lot more white into it. So let me put some more white into it. There we go. There's my yellow-orange and a tint of the yellow-orange. And I'm just going to add some really, really white. Make it lighter and lighter. There we go. This can be softly blended. You can even blend it kind of with the dry brush like that. Don't use too much water. Here's some plain white. Plain white. There we go. Okay, now we go to orange. So is that my orange? That's more red than orange, so I have to make it more. There's my orange. Yep. There's my orange. So now we add a lot of white to the orange. More white to the orange. I'm going to add a little bit, make that a little more orangey up above over here. So it's more gradual transition. Okay, and this is how I'm going to blend it. Wash my brush a little bit, dry it, and just take some plain white over there and bring it in. To bring it in softly, so I'll go back and just get a little bit more orange. Okay, now I'm up to red orange. You can see I always need more paper towels, paper towels, paper towels, paper towels. At home I use a rag, it's much better. Okay, so now we need the red orange. So we have to first kind of create a red orange. That's the first step, unless we have it already and it's still wet. So, but let's find our red orange. Is that the red orange? More like an orange. Just let's go a little deeper. Okay. There's our red orange. Ooh, that's a really good red orange. I kind of want to go over that and just make that the red orange. This is why sometimes I prefer to do the tints at the same time, because that's a really good red orange. There we go, just freshen that up. Now you notice everything does dry a little lighter. So, okay, so now that's my red orange. I have to add some white to it. There we go. Here's my tint of red orange. Dry the brush. Add a little bit more white to it. And there, see how I'm even mixing that on the paper. I have a very light touch. I'm barely touching the paper sometimes. And now I just want the pure white to bring it in. Okay, now we're up to the red. So we don't have to mix anything. Here's our red that we used. You just have to find a space to mix it with the white. I think I'll just do it right there. This is our red. Just take a little bit of white and put it in there. A little bit more white. There, you see? There's our pink. It looks almost like that magenta, doesn't it? But it really came from the warm red. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit more white to it. We have a nice pink now. Going to bring it into there, sort of mix it up. I need just a little bit of plain white to it down there, and it's going to mix in. It's okay, but I kind of like the way those lines are going. I'm just going to use them. There. Okay, so now we keep going around. Now this one, I know I made this. I brought in my blue, my magenta rather, sorry, and my cool blue. So I sort of have to recreate the color I had. Uh-oh, I think I just recreated the violet. I'll use that over there. No, it's over there, okay. I think I need a little bit more red for it. A little more red for it. There we go. This is my red violet, so it's actually not red enough. We'll go with this one. And now I need to add some white to it. We'll just take a little bit of, it's getting hard for me to find areas for my white. I think I need a new palette. See, because I don't want to add yellow into it by any means. That would turn it brown. So there I go, and I'm using this, so I'm going to bring it down there. Okay. to keep that red away, because this is the magenta, this is the red violet that I'm using. Okay. All right, now I need to bring in the white, a little bit of white here. You can see what happens. There's our tint. See? Here's our tint. Now, my brush is kind of getting kind of lumpy, and I'm not liking it, so I'm going to have to squeeze it off. Now I add a little bit more white. There we go. So there's that tint. And now some plain white. Just plain white. Well, my brush was dirty, so I didn't get the plain white. Going to get a new brush for that. This time, I'm going to use a flat chisel brush and not a round brush. I think that might work for this instant better. So you can get more precise line with this. That holds more paint. This has a better line. Now, you see me making a lot of what you might think of as mistakes. When I'm done, you're not going to notice that at all. So I want to urge you, when you think you're making a mistake, just to work right through it, turn it into something you wanted, and people will never think it's a mistake. They will say, oh, you meant that. Those are what we call the happy accidents. And there's my red violet, reinforcing my red violet here. Okay, now onto my violet. So I need my cool blue. I bet you I use so much of that that's going to be a blue violet probably. What is that? That's not bad. Let's see. Is that violet or blue violet? That's very definitely violet. Okay, I'm good. I'm good for my violet. There's my violet. And yeah, this chisel point allows me to get a better line on the edge, if that's what I want. If I want to carry more paint, I use a round brush. If I want to have a better edge, I use a flat brush. There's my violet. Now, let's get that white into it. More white, more white. Where are you, white? Here we go. Here's my tint of violet. I'm just sort of wisping it up into there. Now, I've got to wipe this more. More white. Just get some plain old white at the bottom. Put it over there too. And bring it up there while it's still wet. Over there to make that middle tone. Okay, onto the blue violet. So I add more blue to it. Just take a little bit more blue to it. It's even too blue, maybe.